Mackenzie, congratulations on your victory this evening. We knew that it was going to be tough for you to live up to the expectations unless you did something, very special, very quick. But you did get the win. How do you feel overall about how you performed this evening?
I feel great. I'm happy. Me in myself, I always put like more pressure on myself than everyone else puts on me. So, of course, I wanted to get the submission. But like I said, I'm always trying to show that I'm an all-around fighter. Like I didn't go into the fight trying to submit in the first 10 seconds. I went in trying to do striking. So I think I played a little bit more her game. I didn't think she was gonna want to take me down. So I knew I was like giving risk to get knocked down or something. So I'm always trying to show that I can stand up. I wanted the cherry on top on the end to get the submission, if it was 20 seconds left. But I think that when I wanted to do the takedown, I was able to take down and get the back. So I'm happy with my performance. I think we'll just get better.
She certainly had some success, right? I mean, she was landing some shots. We see the black eye there. She was defending the takedown well. So as the fight was unfolding, were you confident that you were going to be able to get the victory, or were you concerned at all with what she was doing back to you?
I wasn't concerned, knowing that I was going to stay standing up. I know that, like, you just need one lucky shot to stop the fight. So I wasn't nervous, but, I know, like, the risk that I'm taking by standing up, I know that if I was just to go to the ground and play my game, it would be less risky. So I don't say I was nervous or scared that maybe I could lose. But when I saw the judges say, like, one for her, one for me, I got a little bit like, oh, maybe it won't go for me. But I thought it was like 2-1, but I think it was a good fight. I knew that she was tough and she was long. It was a little bit hard for me to find the distance, on the second round and everything. So it's a good obstacle for me.
Thanks. And last thing for me, Mackenzie, where do you feel like your career should go from here? I mean, you are, again, tagged to be in the UFC from the minute you came into mixed martial arts. In some ways, was maybe this good that maybe people won't rush you forward and maybe give you time to develop, or do you want that fast track to the top of the division?
No, I don't want the fast track to the top of the division. I want to take time, but I definitely want to fight soon. Again, I'm all about fighting. I think the next person I'll fight will give me different challenges, and I think that's what I need to show who I am and the type of fighter I want to become. So I don't think they're going to put me on a fast track to go to the title, because I think I can help the UFC just as much as they're helping me, So I think for sure they don't want to make a bad matchup, but they want to see good. I think I showed, I have a lot of heart. I like to fight. I don't mind to stay standing up. I don't mind to go to the ground. So I think that, they'll take the time, but I'm ready to fight. I want to fight again in May, Brazil, I want to fight anywhere. So. Yeah.
Mackenzie, fazer em português, tá?
Tá bom.
Mackenzie, teve golpe que você chegou a cair, chegou a ser um knockdown? Foi seu primeiro knockdown? Como é que você se sentiu ali no momento?
Então, eu já tomei alguns knockdowns no treino, né? Mas, lógico, meus professores sempre me falaram que quando o soco que machuca é aquela soco que a gente não vê de onde veio. E realmente esse soco eu não vi de onde veio. Quando eu vi, eu estava no chão, eu já, na minha cabeça, não, levanta, porque tá na luta. Tá na hora da luta. Então, eu levantei. Eu não me assustei nem nada. Eu acho que eu recuperei muito rápido. Mas é experiência. Eu acho que eu mostrei coração, garra. Eu sabia que ficando em pé podia acontecer isso. Então, faz parte da luta. Também tentei nocautear ela, entendeu? E aconteceu que foi desse jeito, mas acho que foi uma boa experiência. Melhor sentir isso agora do que chegar no cinturão. Eu nunca tinha sentido nada assim.
Quando acabou a luta, foi uma decisão dividida. Você chegou a temer pela vitória? Quando acabou a luta, você conversou com seus treinadores. Você tinha certeza da vitória?
Eu tinha perguntado sobre o primeiro round. Perguntei se eles achavam que eu ganhava, falando que o primeiro ganhou. No segundo, eu perguntei, e aí? Daí falaram, não, você perdeu esse round. Daí, no terceiro, eu nem cheguei a perguntar, entendeu? Quando acabei a luta nas costas, eu achava que ela ia bater, estava bem encaixado o estrangulamento, ela estava já, respirando forte, sabe? Então, eu achei que ia ser 2-1 para mim, mas quando começou a anunciar que era decisão dividida, eu fiquei um pouco nervosa. Mas eu sabia que nos olhos do juiz pode ser qualquer coisa, entendeu? Eu estou preparada para isso. Lógico que eu não quero nunca mais deixar nas mãos dos juízes.
Minha última pergunta. Quando acabou a luta, chamaram o Jorge ali, meio de tradutor. Te surpreendeu que te falaram? Porque pra gente não deu para entender direito o que aconteceu. Mas te explicaram o que foi?
Não, na minha opinião, eu achei que eles queriam que eu falasse em português também, entendeu? Na verdade, eu ia falar em português quando ele respondeu. Daí eu que fiquei na dúvida se era para eu falar inglês primeiro ou português primeiro. Porque eu tenho muitos fãs no Brasil. Eu queria responder em português para todos os meus fãs. Eu queria até falar alguma coisa em português. Mas acho que ficaram mais em dúvida se eu ia falar primeiro em português ou em inglês. Acho que foi isso. Daí, quando viu que eu entendi tudo, entendeu? Em inglês, daí já não pode deixar, entendeu? Isso que eu acho que aconteceu. Obrigada.
It did seem like they brought a translator into the octagon afterwards, and then you sort of waved him or her away. Just wondering what happened there.
No, I'm not sure, like, why exactly. Not that I'm not sure. I was thinking that maybe they brought the translator in Portuguese because they wanted me to speak Portuguese. I wanted to speak Portuguese for my fans in Brazil. You know, I always say I have more fans in Brazil than I have in the USA, you know. So I was even going to say Portuguese, but then I thought, like, I don't know if I say English first or Portuguese first. So I was going to speak Portuguese or English. I didn't know which one to say first. And then I think after they saw that I was speaking English and he didn't translate back to Portuguese, then I think they said, okay, it's better just English, you know. So I think that's what happened there. But for me, it was the same either way, you know. I was just saying how I felt about the fight.
Mackenzie, aqui à sua direita.
Cadê?
Aqui. Que lições você tirou dessa sua primeira luta no UFC, dessa luta bastante parelha que você teve? O que você tira de lição para sua próxima luta que você precisa evoluir?
É muito difícil porque eu acho que tem muita coisa que eu posso evoluir, lógico. Igual eu falei, eu fiquei feliz com a minha performance. Eu não achei que foi ruim. Eu sei que todo mundo quer que eu finalize rápido, mas eu tô aqui para mostrar que eu sou atleta completa, tipo, de trocar em pé, de trocar no chão, de ir pro chão. Eu realmente acho que na hora que eu decidi, tá bom, eu quero levar pro chão, eu consegui levar, já fui para as costas, já estava com um estrangulamento encaixado. Então acho que a parte mais importante é de saber os riscos que eu estou fazendo, sabe? Tipo, de realmente queixo para baixo, ver socos vindo. Ela era canhota, isso foi uma coisa bem difícil, não muito mais alto do que eu, mas tinha uma distância que eu ainda estou acostumando desse sentido. Poxa, acho que na luta eu posso tirar muitas coisas que eu posso melhorar. Mas eu acho que é o mais importante que foi muito bom de eu sentir esses 3 rounds inteiros no UFC. Eu não quero chegar no cinturão e nunca ter passado pro segundo round, terceiro round, nunca ter passado um sufoco, nunca ter tomado um nocaute e não ficar com medo, entendeu? Então, acho que foi uma boa experiência de sentir isso agora e ganhar essa confiança em pé. Obrigada. Mais algum? Thank you, guys.
Brian, congratulations on an incredible victory for you. Don't seem to be a guy that gets too caught up in the moment, but I got to ask you, I mean, the emotions right now, stepping in on short notice, facing a legend, becoming the first guy to finish him. What's it feel like right now? Maybe not right now, but
That's what it felt like. No, I mean, I feel very happy, you know, like I told the interviewers earlier, like right here, I was screaming and jumping, you know, but outside, I really want to show respect for all of my opponents, you know. I know sometimes in this game, you know, we knock someone out and we run around, and that's just not my style, you know. Sometimes I've done it before, you know, I'm human, I can't help it, but I mean, I've seen it before. In my mind, I've done this, you know. So when I seen it live, I was just like, okay, stay cool, bro. Stay calm, stay collected. You know what I'm saying? Be professional. You've been here before in your mind, but you've been here before.
Very nice. Give me an idea as the fight was playing out, because Frankie was having some success early, you know, sticking and moving, using speed and angles the way he does. How did you feel things were playing out early? Did you feel you were a step behind or concerned at all?
No, I wasn't really too concerned, you know. The way I looked at it was, let me see what this guy is going to bring to the table real quick. Let me try to figure out his plan. He came in, he was sticking, he was moving. I didn't see him trying to wrestle, so I put some pressure on him. And then once I really relaxed in there, then I started throwing my shots and landing them, and I was just figuring my own self out. And once I did, you know, that was it.
Seems like the natural fight next is for the title, Max Holloway. I mean, I know it hasn't been very long, but did you get to have any conversations in the back? Dana, matchmakers, anybody else? Have you been told that that's what's next?
I've been told, but I really want to talk to the main, you know, to the main bosses and find out if that's true or not before I get too excited. You know, I don't want to get too excited and then have it shut down, and then I'm going to be heartbroken. So I'm just kind of just playing it by it goes, and that's the next, you know, in my opinion, I feel like that should be the next fight.
And last thing for me, Brian, I mean, obviously if that is the fight, it'll depend on Max getting healthy. But as far as you're concerned, I mean, how quickly would you like that to happen?
Well, right now I want to just take maybe a little vacation, you know, go surfing, some black belt surfing, and pretty much that's it. Once I get some waves and go back home and adjust a little bit, go back to the Gracie University, go teach some classes, go back to the normal me, not the fighter me, like the real, like the outside of fighting person who I am. Enjoy that Brian for a little bit, and then get back to work.
Brian, I wasn't sure. Congratulations on the win. Do you think the fact that you showed such good striking there affects the way Max is going to have to fight you? You know he was going to be looking for your grappling, your submissions. Now that you showed hands like that against a guy that's been a pretty good striker, do you think that will affect the way Max will approach you?
I've always said it, and maybe the way I fight doesn't really show it. I feel like you really have to be in there with me to feel the way I am. And I said it, pick your poison. You know, we can bang it out or we can go to the ground. I'm comfortable either way, and I feel like, either no matter what happens in the fight, I'll be all right.
In the finishing shot, I know you hurt him with the elbow, but when you hit him with that uppercut, it's almost like you left your feet to do that. Have you ever, like, you know, sometimes when you hit a really good shot, you can feel it all the way through your body. Did you ever feel like you landed a stronger shot than that particular punch?
No, absolutely. I took my time in trying to finish him. I knew he was rocked, and when I seen that opportunity to throw an uppercut, I mean, I threw it with bad intentions. You know, I don't want to have bad intentions, but when I went in there, I had bad intentions on when I threw that one, and it landed right on the dot.
So, I mean, this sort of doubles what John asked, but Max has tweeted out tonight already, sort of UFC 226. Does that sound good to you?
What's the date?
July, International Fight Week.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Well, and then whether negatively or positively, I'm just curious, did the short notice at all affect, you know, what you did in there and you know, what you felt like you could do?
I mean, with a full training camp, I feel like you're always going to get a better version of myself. I'm always training. I'm always in the gym, no matter where I'm at. I'm always working out. And so, when they gave us a call, they said 3 weeks. I got no problem. And then they said it was going to be a main event. It was like, can it be done? Can I have the Brian Ortega cardio that I always have in 3 weeks? And we're debating a little bit in the room when we were training. And I said, you know what? The ultimate decision was, let's do the 5 rounds. And we chose 5 rounds. And a week later, they said, you got bumped to co-main event. Cyborg saved the card. And 3 rounds. So it almost was like a tiny relief, but I was ready.
You feeling safe up there right now?
I feel like this thing's gonna crash down right now. Like, you know, like those Final Destination movies. I'm like.
Well, and I am just curious. You brought up your charity that you've started, and I'm just curious if you could just tell us a little bit about what that does and you know what the plan is.
Yeah, actually, the Brian Ortega Foundation is to cater to all people who have all kinds of problems, you know. And I'm slowly, surely building it. My first steps have already been taken. I'm finishing the website right now. All money that I made from my last fight, I spent making the foundation, and now it's kind of it's set in motion and it's good to go. I feel like there's like I said it before, there's a lot of love that needs to be shown, and there's some plans. I'm doing what's called the T-City Scholarship, where I'm going to sponsor 4 to 5 people to train one full free year at the Grace University, and then I'm going to go out to all the hospitals in LA and go visit the kids over there and spread some love.
Hey Brian, how much did you weigh tonight?
Oh man, I was a little fatty tonight. Yesterday I weighed myself at 145. Today I was at 164.
When you stepped in the octagon, because I think we all saw it, when you see that size advantage against Frankie, do you get like maybe a little too excited about what you can do with that, or how do you confront that?
No, well, the way I felt was like, if this guy really wants to be on the ground right now, I'm going to be a heavy blanket. So that's what I was thinking in my head, you know. And obviously if you're striking, the more weight you gain, the harder your punch is going to be.
Brian, ¿tomaste algo de la pelea que tuvo Frankie ante Pantera para obtener esta victoria?
No, porque mi plan de estrategia era que si él me tumba, pues yo tengo mejor, en mi opinión, mejor juego de piso que Yair. Pero él quiso hacer el striking conmigo todo el tiempo y pues dije, ¿sabes qué? Él no me quiere tumbar, no quiere hacer ninguna derrota y pues en ese caso, pues a tomar la ventaja de eso y a empezar a tirar esos puñetazos. Y sí fue por mis pies una vez, casi le agarré el cuello y yo creo que tuvo temor de llevarme al piso. Y pues también tomamos la ventaja de eso. Cuando se metió, tiramos los codos porque ya sé que es más pequeño, tiene pues mis brazos largos, no pueden tirar cuando él está enfrente de mi cara y si no puedo tirar los brazos, voy a tirar los codos y es lo que hice.
Perfecto, muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Felicidades.
Hey, Brian, just to your right. Real quick question about something that you said to Joe Rogan right after the fight. You mentioned that this is your dreams, you envision all this, you see it happening, but then you also said that I have envisioned my fears too, like my fear of being knocked out. Can you?
Yeah.
That's something that we don't really hear much, guys talking about the fear of getting knocked out before a fight. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Honestly, it's a balanced scale where as much as I dream, as much as I have nightmares. Where when I go in there, you know, like maybe like the fight week, I'm like, man, maybe I'm going to be that guy that's on the highlight reel that gets knocked out. Maybe, you know, this is going to happen. Maybe I can get submitted. So I'm always thinking, like, what if these things happen to me? How I'm going to react? How would I react? Am I going to be a sore loser? Like, I better be humble. Like, almost like checking myself, you know, if something bad happens. And then the other half is, like, positive thoughts. It's weird. It's a crazy mental game that I go through before I fight. But it usually ends up battling itself out. So I feel like that's what I'm calm after, no matter what, because I've almost, in my mind, I've lived both experiences, so I'm gonna know how to react when it happens. We good? Thank you, guys.
What's up, guys? The gate was 1.4 million. The attendance was 12,041. Performance of the night, Brian Ortega. Fight of the night was O'Malley, and I'm going to butcher his last name. You know who he is. And Hernandez was the other bonus.
Dana, several impressive performances this evening, but I want to start with Brian Ortega. Can you put into perspective what he accomplished? I mean, coming in on short notice and then being the first guy to finish Frankie Edgar. Give us your thoughts on him tonight.
Yeah, the guy's so incredible and well-rounded. You know, you think when he goes in and fights Frankie Edgar, you'd bet anything that he's going to sub him if he's going to win. And then he goes in and knocks him out in the first round. You know, this kid is super talented, has an incredible personality, and, you know, the fact that we now have a title fight with him and Holloway. Holloway looked incredible against Jose Aldo in his last fight, and I'm excited about this. Wow.
It's been fun tonight. Yeah, you said it. I mean, that seems like the next logical fight, right? That's the title fight that has to happen. Can you give us any idea of how Max is recovering? And, you know, is there an idea when that could happen? Max went on Twitter tonight and said 226 summer would be nice.
Yeah, I just saw him he came on the Ultimate Fighter as one of the coaches, and he looks good. He's walking good, and I don't know. We got to see, you know, what his doctor says, and when he's cleared and he's ready to fight, we'll make that fight immediately.
Very nice. Sean O'Malley, a guy that you're happy about, of course. He had an impressive performance tonight as well. Kind of a bizarre ending. First of all, do you have a medical update on him, how he's doing, and can you tell us, you know, what you thought of his performance?
Yeah, the doctors are going to hit me as soon as they know whether it's broken. They think it's probably just a small fracture. They don't think it's anything really crazy, but you know, they're going to let me know as soon as they. Yeah, the kid's fun to watch. He's exciting, and people love to watch him. The crowd really likes him. So, yeah, I like it.
And lastly, for me, Dana, Cyborg tonight, another impressive performance. I want to ask, I mean, you guys have had your differences. You've admitted that you made mistakes at times, but now you're turning to her, coming in to say, please come, you know, help us save this pay-per-view. Do you feel like that relationship has improved and you know, maybe that y'all are in a good spot that you can turn to her for situations like
yeah,
this?
Yeah, her and I are in a very good position relationship-wise. And, yeah, I mean, she's a beast, man. The fight to make is her and Nunes. That's the fight that needs to happen. Nunes wants to fight. She wants to fight. I want to fight. I'm sure the fans want to see it too. So we'll get that one going. Kev?
Dana, I wonder, like tonight you had three, you know, O'Malley, Ortega, and Mackenzie Dern, three young fighters, and it seems to me maybe you have the deepest roster of talent top to bottom, not necessarily stars, that you've ever had since you own the company. I mean, you really have a lot of good young fighters now. Do you notice that, and do you feel like the depth of talent is better?
Yeah, well, I think that we've, you know, if you look at what we've done over the last couple of years, you know, with looking for a fight, and now the Contender Series, you know, one of the things we've always been good at is cultivating young talent. And I think more so in the last couple of years than ever, probably.
Is there more pressure when you don't have, you know, a Ronda Rousey and a Conor McGregor and even a John Jones selling a lot of pay-per-views to push them faster? And can that hurt their development? Like if you push them at a pace maybe that they're not ready for, would that hurt?
I don't know. You know, some of these guys, depending on their age, you know, they're you know, some of these people that are that good and that are that special look at John Jones. Did we push John Jones too fast? Did we push Conor McGregor too fast? You know, when you're the man or the woman, you win.
And then, you know, you referenced O'Malley, but, you know, what amazed me is when he got hurt and he's on the ground, he got up on his feet and he couldn't put any weight on his right foot. And he was going to fight. I think it was a minute and a half left to go in the fight. He's going to fight with his right leg off the ground.
Right.
I mean, you know.
And threw a spinning elbow and landed it.
Right. And I guess, you know, what does that say? Like, you know, is that just that kind of will to win that's deep inside somebody that, you know, you would be willing to do that as opposed to saying, hey, I can't go here and Absolutely,
man. That's when you find out who's real. And you know, when you talk about a fighter, like a fighter. You know, a lot of guys will use that as an excuse to try to get out. That kid didn't try to stop that fight. He kept fighting right to the end. And then when the fight was over, you saw him, he was screaming. He was in so much pain. But he fought his ass off right to the end. I couldn't understand why, was laying on top of him instead of making him stand up and get up. Not very smart.
Dana, over here, you said Cyborg versus Nunes is the fight to make. There's been some reports that Nunes could be fighting Pennington in Rio. Are you going to move forward with that fight, or do you think maybe you move away and try to make this champion versus champion fight happen?
I think that I will.
Could it be in Rio potentially?
Could be, yeah. I mean, listen, she just fought, so. Once the adrenaline goes down, she's got to get checked out, make sure she's 100%, and I just think that her and Nunes is the fight that needs to happen.
Yeah, and as far as Frankie Edgar, I mean, he could have probably sat on the sidelines and not taken this fight and waited for Max to get healthy. What does it just mean to you guys as the company to see him, willing to step up and fight Brian and put his title shot at stake?
Yeah. Frankie wanted this fight, and Frankie wanted to turn around right after this fight again in Atlantic City. So I love it.
And Connor tweeted out saying, it should have been me in there doing that to Frankie tonight. He had said that, he was going to step in, he wanted to fight on this card. Was that ever actually close to realistic?
No, but it's true. He did say, I'll take that fight with Frankie Edgar. But he's not in that weight division, and Ortega was the guy who, and we had already made the fight. The fight was already made between Ortega and Frankie when Connor said, "I'll take that fight."
Yeah, and finally, we had 5.
And when he said he'd take it, there was something like 24 days left of the fight or something like that. Nothing about it made sense.
And finally, we had 5 split decisions on this card tonight. I think that's tied for the record for most ever on a UFC card.
Say that again?
We had 5 split decisions on this card, which was tied for the record. A couple of them involved Adelaide Bird. What do you just think of the state of judging right now, especially tonight?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. Weird.
Were you okay with Adelaide Bird judging tonight, like just in general, is her coming back into the fold?
Am I okay with it? Yeah.
John Dodson put on a strong performance. My understanding is that this was the last fight on his contract. Is he a guy who, it's important for you guys to re-up with?
Who is?
John Dodson.
John Dodson? Oh, tonight was his last fight? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I'm deaf. You guys got to yell into that mic. I like John Dodson. He's a great kid. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Dana, just to follow up on the conversation of Ortega and Holloway, assuming Holloway is healthy in short order, would maybe the July card be a good time to target that fight to Kobil?
I don't know. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But yeah, I want to make that fight as soon as possible.
Yeah. I also want to get your thoughts on the Hector Lombard disqualification. That one appeared to be a pretty blatant one.
A pretty what?
A pretty blatant one in terms of after the bell.
When you watch the replay, you clearly see the referee yell stop, and he yells stop in like a half a second, and then Lombard throws that last punch that knocks him out. Yeah, it was the right call. We good? Have a great night, you guys. Thank you.
Well, Jan, of course, fighting Chris Cyborg is always a tough assignment regardless, but for you to be making a UFC debut, to come in on short notice, even tougher for you. Now that's in the rearview mirror, how do you feel about how things played out and how you performed and the whole experience?
Yes, it was like weird experience, and I was so nervous, and I hope to come back as much fast as I can.
So you were nervous. We hear a lot about octagon jitters. Is that what it was? The nerves as you were coming into the cage tonight got to you a little bit?
I think I was nervous because I was facing like Chris Cyborg. It's a great fighter, and it's like not my weight class, but it's all mental problem. I will try to fix it and come back more strong.
You were having some success early. Can you tell us what was going through your mind? I mean, yes, you got hit early with the right hand, but then you got the takedown. You were working the clinch well. I mean, what was going through your head?
It's why I'm like so sad, because I feel that I can control this fight and like in some points, but it's like what happened. Everyone saw.
And last thing, I mean, you do have featherweight experience, but of course the former bantamweight champ. What is the next move for you? Do you feel a move back down to 135 makes sense?
Yeah, I will come back to 135.
Chris, congratulations on your victory. It didn't necessarily come easy. There was a takedown early on, and Yana was controlling against the cage a little bit. Talk about how you felt in there. Were you surprised at all with what she was able to do tonight?
I was really relaxed at the fight, and I think fight soon possible, like after Holly fight. This is giving me more experience, for be patient. And I really work a lot on my jiu-jitsu, and then maybe today is going to be the opportunity, but no, I prefer KO and keep punching. But I feel great. I have just 3 weeks, but I always keep training, I was learning, and then, I feel great.
Was there any sense of relief at all when you got the win? Because, as you said, this was a quick turnaround, short notice fight. You stepped up to the occasion, but was there any sense of relief, like, yes, I was able to get through this?
When I go walk to the cage, I'll just remind me my last fight. It's very quick, like 1 month after, 2 months after, and I feel home. I feel like great, doing again. And then now I understand. I was Jason, my coach, say, you need to fight all the time. It's good for you. And I really see that. It's really great.
Well, Dana was here earlier, and he said you and Amanda Nunes is definitely the fight to make. I know you said you don't like Brazil versus Brazil, but could you do it in Brazil? Would you want to turn around by May, or is that too soon?
She's gonna fight now, defend her title belt in Brazil in May, I think, and then probably gonna fight July. If she win, be the champion. And after she's calling me out, I'm not calling Amanda out. She's calling me out, and I can fight her July.
Dana said he might think about not having her defend her title and make you next to make sure that fight happens. So could you do Rio, or would that be too soon for you?
I don't know, but for me, I think it's gonna be too soon. No, because I'm going to Brazil, and then I have a lot of things to do. I'm gonna I bring my niece with me, leaving, and they're gonna be ended in March. And I accepted this fight because it's beginning of March, and I continue to have my plan. But I don't know. Let's see. I'll be excited.
Chris, were you surprised that Yana got up after that first right hand you hit her with? You dropped her, and a lot of times when you hit somebody with a clean right like that, you finish them. She managed to get up. Did that surprise you?
No surprise me. She said I don't have power knockout, and I said maybe she don't check my share dog. And then the first punch I did, she's why I say that, and I just
I wonder if you can break yourself down against Amanda Nunes. Like, what do you think how that fight would play out? If that's the next fight, it sounds like it is. What problems would she present to you?
Amanda, she's the champion, 35. I respect all. She's a bit the champion, but I don't think she fight anybody like me too. And then she's gonna up 145. I know she's have a couple fights 145 before, but the one thing, like I said, I never want to fight Brazilian. But when I was the champion already in Strike Force, my division, we never have the opportunity to fight each other because she's never getting close. And now she's the champion 135, she calling me out. Okay, let's do this fight, and I'm gonna train and be ready. And what she's gonna do for me, I don't think about this. I just think about what I'm gonna do there.
You fought a lot of great fighters, notably Holly and Gina Carano. But I wonder, when you fight Amanda, do you think Amanda will be the most talented fighter that you've ever faced in your career?
I think Amanda have a lot of fights. She's the girl beat Ronda. She's the girl beat a lot of girls, Misha Tate, a lot of big names. But let's see. I don't know. I don't like saying anything before I fight. I like go to the cage and fight.
When you watch her, like when you watched her fight Valentina, were you impressed by what she did? I mean, she didn't get the finish like you got, but Valentina's a heck of a fighter.
This fight very close. Some people think Valentina win this fight, but it's very close, very technical fight. She's fight smart.
And then lastly, do you feel like Dana said he feels like you and he are in a very good place right now? There was a ton of Chris Cyborg promotion on this fight. You were all over the place. Do you feel like now you finally are on the track where you wanted to be from the beginning when you first joined the UFC a couple of years ago?
I just saw Don White and I shake his hand and say, we are friends now. I say that. I'm very thankful for the opportunity. I'm happy. I love my job. And then I'm easy to work with. Really, I'm not hard to work. But just if you show a little bit you like my work, for sure I'm going to do my best I can for make you happy. And I'm really happy, and then I show why I'm happy. I'm here. Thank you.
Chris, A Iana te derrubou, ela chegou a ficar ali uns 2 minutos e meio com você no chão. A gente não tinha visto isso ainda no UFC. Te surpreendeu de alguma forma? Você achou ela talvez mais... Você achou ela forte?
Não, a gente treinou, a gente achou que ela ia tentar levar pro chão. Até se você ver a luta da Holly, não teve muito tempo de mudar alguma coisa, a gente achou. Mas eu treino chão, né? Se tivesse acontecido de ir pro chão, a gente pode... Eu levanto, senão eu ia tentar fazer alguma coisa. Mas eu não me surpreendi, eu acreditei, eu já sabia que ela ia tentar.
Mas
E ainda mais a partir de depois ela sentiu o meu soco. A partir que deu direto nela, dela falou, não dá pra mim aqui, vou levar pro chão. E daí que aconteceu.
Mas ali quando ela quase pegou suas costas ali, aquele...
Mas ali tava defendido, né? Tava com a mãozinha aqui, defendida. Pra pegar ia ser mais trabalhoso. Mas tava ali, né? Ela tava tentando dela e eu tava me defendendo.
Certo. Um outro ponto interessante, se a gente olhar alguns anos atrás, como já mencionaram, você tinha a sua relação com Dana White e com o UFC não era das melhores. Hoje, passado alguns anos, você salvou um evento, é o segundo evento aqui em Las Vegas que você faz o main event. Te surpreendeu o quão rápido esse processo evoluiu depois de anos já não ter as categorias?
Não foi rápido, né? Não foi rápido.
Não, desde que você chegou no UFC.
Desde que eu cheguei no UFC, eu acho que continuidade do meu trabalho, acho que sendo profissional, né? Eles me chamando para lutar, eu treinando, me preparando, minha postura. Tá certo que a gente teve umas controvérsias, assim, mas eu acredito que aos pouquinhos eles vêm gostando de mim, eu tô mostrando profissionalismo, acho que é isso que eles gostam.
Ao pouquinho eles gostam de você e você vem gostando deles também.
Hã?
Aos poucos eles gostam de você e você também vem gostando deles.
Porque muitas pessoas me conhecem só dentro do octágono, né? Não me conhecem como pessoa. Acho que quando as pessoas começarem a me conhecer da forma como eu sou, acho que as pessoas se surpreendem muito e começam a gostar mais.
Certo. Minha última pergunta. O Dana falou aqui pra gente agora há pouco que pra ele parece que vai fazer sentido casar você com a Amanda no Rio de Janeiro. E você pediu uma luta em julho. Fisicamente, quando você gostaria de lutar e se no Rio faz sentido pra você?
Ele tem que falar com o meu manager, mas eu acredito que em maio eu não vou lutar, não.
Por quê? Maio seria muito cedo, é isso?
Eu tenho coisas para resolver. Eu desde o começo, antes dessa luta casar, eu já tinha falado que eu lutaria em julho, mas eu vou deixar com o meu manager resolver isso. É ele que resolve.
Chris, you mentioned this week that you are going to be adopting your 12-year-old niece, and that would sort of be happening very soon after this fight. So I'm just curious, man, what is that? How exciting is that? How big of a change is that? And how will that affect sort of your next couple months as you help her settle at your home?
You know, me and my niece, we have a good relationship like a mother and a kid, and then here in America, I can give a better opportunity for her. And then when I moved to America, I was gonna bring her, she stayed with my mom, and then my brother take care of her. And I said, when I fix everything in my life, I bring you, live with me. And I did this promise 7 years ago. And then I'm really happy I'm gonna make this promise. And I'm gonna happy to show the opportunity for her, bring her training for me, go do things with kids like to do. And I'm really happy this is gonna change my life and her life for sure.
So, I mean, you just said you promised her that when everything was fixed and you were established. So you feel like that's happened? You're now in that point where you're really, truly
I think about age too. Like when I moved to America, like 7, 8 years ago, I was even speaking English, And then really hard, you bring a whole family, you come here, you have to learn, you have to do a lot of things. And now everything right, I think it's the right time for bring her. Thank you.
Chris, Megan Anderson tweeted out her congratulations to you tonight, and then she also said that she would like to have the fight with you now. I know, obviously, everybody would like to see the fight with Amanda Nunes, but if for any reason that fight stalls the way it did before, and I know originally we were supposed to see you fight Megan Anderson, would that be a fight you would be interested in taking?
This is my job. I'm the champion who is going to be ready for fight with me. I'm going to be ready. Meg Anderson, I supposed to fight her before Holly Holm. It's not my fault that this fight don't happen. She's sweet, but she really cannot fight. She's really have to handle her problem with UFC for make this fight happen.
And one more from me. If you could compare and contrast going the distance with Holly Holm compared to tonight, which was very quick work for you, just the general feeling after the fight. Obviously, you took no damage tonight, but do you have a physical sense of you could be back in there very quickly?
Holly's the real fighter. When I start touching her, like you see Anna, when I touch her, she's one takedown. And then when you see Holly, she's have a lot of experience. I respect that. And because we make an amazing fight, December. And yes. No more. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
Across the sky, my name is Thunder.
Nights don't get bigger than this in London.
The Dooms, without a doubt, one of the best heavyweights of all time.
Looking for another shot at UFC gold.
Oh, it looks robbed.
Alexander Volkov looks to march towards title contendership.
That was amazing. One punch, Jimmy Manuel.
What's up, London? And that is it. It is all over. A finish will be served.